welcome to Valerie. Welcome again. This is our first live show, and I am ready. Oh, we've got some topics for you today. Okay, so on my new show, we're here to have a good time. Okay, while getting along very well. We're talking about very important and serious issues, okay? But no matter what we're talking about, we're going to have a good time with it. We're going to get along. We're going to have lots of fun. Now, on this first show, we're talking about the very important issue of reparations and why all of my people who are descendants of slaves, whose ancestors were slaves in this country, in America, in various countries, why we should be paid reparations. Let's hear it. We should be paid reparations, all right? Now, this is a show where I simply say to you, come, let us reason together. Let's talk it out, okay? With a smile on our face. And if it gets heated, let's be respectful and let's be kind. And so I've got to say this, if you did an interview with us, if you taped anything with us, and your views were too far off, meaning that you made comments that were discriminatory or racist or anything like that, sorry, but we had to cut you out. Okay, thank you very much for your efforts. But there are some things that we just can't air and we will not be a part of. All right? Thank you very much. So again, today we're starting out talking about reparations, okay? For my people, we all say, pay up, reparations now, okay? So what do we want reparations for? Let's talk about that. We want reparations for slavery, okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about, why we want reparations, and then we're going to take it to the streets and to other people who we interviewed to talk about reparations and why they feel we should or should not be paid reparations. Okay, so we want reparations for all of those who may not know, because our ancestors were enslaved and America and many other countries benefited and still benefit from our free labor. So what is slavery? Let's go to the dictionary. It's bondage, enslavement, servitude, subjugation, and a lot more. The practice or system of owning slaves. Now, I have a problem with that definition. Because it says the practice, right, of doing what? Or system of owning slaves. But no. People are slaves. So it's the practice or system of owning people and enslaving them for one reason or the other, or no reason at all except for your own benefit. Okay, so slavery is supposed to be based on a debt, right? That would lead a person into indentured servitude, right? Or possibly even for crimes that they committed, or for a way to get into a place, kind of almost like a barter system, where they owe something or they want something and they don't have anything to trade or money to pay. So they become indentured servants. Or the other way is illegally forced into slavery. So the reason why we want our reparations is because our ancestors were illegally forced into slavery. Illegally forced into slavery. This is why we want reparations. We owed you no debt. You had no reason to make us indentured servants. We did not come to America and say, let us in And what we'll do is we'll work for you and we'll earn our keep, so that we can stay here, and make a life here. No. You went, you stole us, you conspired, you took our people, you bound them in chains, you beat them, you treated them like dogs, you brought them here and to many other countries, and you forced my people, my ancestors, into slavery. Okay? We owed you nothing, right? How do we know it's true? Somebody said even the Bible speaks of, slavery. But that was still always based on the same three things I was talking about. Either you owed a debt, you had done something wrong, or you were illegally taken, or you signed into some kind of indentured servitude for whatever reason. It was either willing, or you had done something wrong, or you owed a debt. The only other way was illegally forced into it. Okay? Even your credit system says this. Because the credit system is based on the same thing. If you cannot pay your debts, your credit is held as a slave. And you, in a sense, economically, are held like a slave. Your economics, your finances are held like a slave for 7 years until you're able to pay, or your debt is wiped out because it says you can no longer do this or you can do that until you pay, or your time is up, and then it has to be wiped away. So you can't come up with any kind of excuse why you had the right to illegally force people into slavery. And since you did, you have to pay the reparations. Why? Because guess what you did? You forced disadvantage on my people. A disadvantage that still lurks and looms and is like a cloud over many Black people's head all over the world. Do not tell us that you had the right to make any of us indentured servants. So what is indentured servitude? Indentured servitude is a form of labor where an individual is under contract to work without a salary to repay an indenture or loan within a certain time frame. Indentured servitude was popular in the United States in the 1600s as many European immigrants worked in exchange for the price of passage to America. So you allowed other people to come in and pay a price of passage into America. Now, if for some reason or by any chance or any crazy chance in your mind that you can come up with, that you thought you wanted African people to come over here and work, you could have written a contract, you could have gone over there and said, hey, okay, we need people to come and work. So here's what we'll do. If you would like an American life or a life somewhere else, here's what we'll do. Let's make a contract. Come work for us for 7 years. And then we'll pay you. We'll give you citizenship. And, we'll just walk around equal like we are anyway. But if you come to my country, then I'll pay you. So let's make a contract. No, you know what you did? You offered everybody else, like you still do today, every right, every opportunity, and you went over to Africa and you stole, you chained, you conspired, and then you brought my people over here and you forced them into slavery, and what came after that was forced disadvantage. So what is forced? Obtained or imposed by coercion or physical power. So when you start talking about, oh, look at what Look at what your own people did to you. Right. So you conspired, you coerced, and you told them, hey, I'll give you money, I will make this deal. You lied to many of them because some of them you still took into slavery as well. And you conspired with them. And then you used physical power to take the people who were sold out and then take the people you made the agreement with. Your contracts are no good. We already know that. What is disadvantage? An unfavorable circumstance or condition that reduces the chances of what? Reduces the chances of what? Everything. Reduces the chances of survival. Reduces the chances of effectiveness. Reduces the chances and cause everything to be a stumbling block, to be a downside, a catch. It reduces the chances of what? Prosperity, advancement, life, help. Forced disadvantage. While you prospered and got all the advantage, inheritances, building up your bank accounts, building up your real estate portfolios, building up your land, building up your people. And after you committed this horrible atrocity, what did you say? That you need to force us to believe that our beautiful brown, black, beautiful skin was less than yours. And you set up a system so horrible and so greatly evil in the sight of God and man to say, everybody worship what you call white or light or bright. And you took the meaning from the dictionary of light and associated it with your people, and took the definition of darkness and blackness and associated it with my people, so that you could have a forced advantage and we could continue with a forced disadvantage. So you owe reparations. What are reparations? The making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying monetarily for others' loss. The compensation for war damage paid by a defeated state. Right? The action of repairing something. Restoration, fixing, renovation, rebuilding, reconstruction, mending, servicing, improvement, and adjustment. By definition of every one of these words, America and every country who committed these atrocities owe reparations to all of my people. Pay reparations. Reparations now. Reparations now. All right, so we're going to take it to the streets. We're going to talk to the people now. We're going to talk to the people and find out what they think about reparations. And again, all opinions are good. We're listening to all opinions, but we will not tolerate anything racist or anti-anybody or anything discriminatory. So it won't be on this show. Thank you. See you again soon. Let's go to the streets, and I'll be right back with you. So we're standing out here in Brooklyn, New York. We're on Livingston Street and Court Street, and we're talking about why blacks from all different countries should or should not be paid reparations for slavery and other things?
Why?
Why don't you think people of African descent should be paid reparations?
Because we have a history of also selling ourselves. So who's going to get the reparations?
Okay, so does that alleviate America and other countries from their responsibility for rape, maiming, blaming, pedophilia, destroying and hurting and contributing to the problem that maybe some, like you say, was already there? If the problem is already there, but someone else contributed to it and participated in it, aren't they just as liable? And if they've committed like extra atrocities on top of it, aren't they more liable? We're talking about reparations. I want your opinion, please.
I don't think I have a popular opinion here.
No, hey, no, all opinions are good. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be popular. You can tell us why you paid, and you bring your beautification here too. Okay. Tell us why we should be paid reparations.
Just for the traumatic sense, the inhumaneness of slavery, degraded our people a great deal, but set us back a multitude of generations.
Absolutely.
And we kind of reaping that right now. I think financially it will help us get our economic structure together, maybe educate more people, maybe open up more businesses for us so we can have a better community. And you look at it, the other people got their reparations for something that somebody else did to them in another country. And we here suffering today, not really suffering because we could start our own reparation just by being more responsible and probably uniting and pooling our money, and it'll work better. But the people are not going to give us reparations because then that'll show that they're guilty for their atrocities.
True. And can I ask you another question? Shouldn't we, like you were saying, you touched on it a little bit, we need to stick together and stop seeing our differences and see how we're more alike. All the different black countries,
Right.
we all have the same heritage, basic heritage. We just have different cultures because
Right,
we were
right.
in different places.
Right,
What do you say about that, about sticking together to make something happen? What do you think about all the different black cultures?
Well, like, we are one people, we're the human race, and I mean just us melanated people. We're men of few and women of few. So before this, we were known as the Moorish Empire and many other things, the 12 tribes of Judah. We always had unity, but that's where the enemy saw that we was at our strongest, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely think we should. We still practice it in a sense, but it's just misplaced ambitions with our gangs. Our gangs still hold tribal orientations, but they are directed in the wrong way. We are tribal people regardless. So, we just got that, like I told somebody, it's from slavery that things happen and nobody helps. So it's like years of that is like subconsciously drilled in our head not to trust one another because we're not going to do nothing.
And we're taught that
right.
by everybody not to trust one another.
Right.
And to stay divided.
Right.
And people talking in one ear and talking in the other ear.
Right.
We've got to get on that and realize, watch it. Don't believe it.
Because this is our plane at the end of the day. This is our planet. We're here first.
That's
right.
right.
How I feel about it.
We are the first people. That's
Thank
right.
you very much,
Thank you
all right?
so much. Thank
Have
you
a good one, all right? I appreciate you.
Thank you. About reparations. Come on, give us a statement. Should. Oh, we got one of the elders coming. Good morning, ma'am. We've been interviewing black people about whether or not we should be paid reparations. Black people from all different countries where our ancestors were enslaved. Should we be paid reparations? Yes, why?
Because it's something that we should be proud of, that we're still standing here
That's right.
and we can talk about it.
That's right.
Many people were killed.
That's okay. So tell us, should blacks in every country around the world where our ancestors were enslaved, should we be paid reparations?
Absolutely.
Step in, tell us why.
Absolutely. 1,000% yes. We are born into this world set back already, so we have to work 10 times harder to even get into a normal space where we can afford to have like a regular, like livable and comfortable life. That's really unfair. We struggle every single day to get up and work and suffer through all of the things that have set us back, especially because of our skin color, is crazy. And it's not even our fault why we're suffering like this. It's a systematic situation. So because the system is created in that way, it needs to pay us back. Because
What do you say about some people who claim that we should just get past it and get over it because supposedly some blacks sold us into slavery?
Right.
Does that alleviate America and all the other countries for the atrocities that they committed and their participation in it?
Absolutely not. And again, because it's a systematic problem, the systems are still in place for us to continue to suffer. So if they take that away, then maybe I'll get over it. But as long as those systems are still in place, I'll never get over it because I'm constantly still fighting to afford to live in this society. So
And the disadvantages that many of us have faced is because our ancestors were disadvantaged. So where's our inheritance and all the monies and the houses and all the things that we should have had?
Right.
Is that correct? Right. We need our share. We don't get to work for free, and everybody else gets paid.
right.
Amen? Thank you so much. What's your name?
Nastasia.
It's also please check out the website. We're going to be having some panels by one of some beautiful faces. If you want to be on different shows, we're going to be meeting at different places and doing live shows. Let us know. We want those beautiful faces, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Valerie, your
My name?
Uh-huh.
Omar.
Omar. All right, so tell us, why should blacks who were ancestors were enslaved, all of us from African descent, be paid reparations?
Why? Because of that oath for 400 years of free labor.
Free labor. Free labor. Free labor. So we had another person who came before Faith came and said that we should be grateful and just move on. She claims that
That's
that
ludicrous.
doesn't make
That's
any-
that's
Yes, it's
ludicrous.
She claims that because some blacks sold us in our ancestors into slavery, that I said that doesn't alleviate
course.
America and all the other countries from their participation. So even the law says if you participate in a crime, then you're an accessory to that crime,
That's
either
correct.
during, before, or after the fact.
Yeah, of course. And they didn't pay back wages. So for 400 years, they built banks, schools, universities,
Say it.
and built this whole country.
Our black cultures need to get together, get on the same page, so that we can also support one another. It is time for us to stand together and stop fighting amongst ourselves, so we can force them to do things. That's why other people get what they want.
Because they're more
they're-
organized.
Right. They don't care where they're from.
No.
If they're from the same basic heritage, they stick together.
That's correct. That's
We
correct.
all of African descent, our cultures are just different.
That's it.
Big deal.
Yeah, but we all have the same oppressor.
We all have the same oppressor. So eat each other's food, support each other's businesses, go to each other's house, watch each other, build each other's schools, send all our people together and stand together, get those reparations, and make people treat us right. If we stand like this,
Yeah, divided you fall.
we fall.
Unity.
And like once the white people know that once we don't come together, it's over for them.
That's
Like,
why
it'll
they keep
be
us fighting.
fine,
They
like,
keep us
That's
fighting.
right.
And they'll tell you, you're better than me.
Because that's divide and conquer.
You're better than
That's
me.
divide and conquer.
And they
we're
stand.
all the same.
No, we're divided and conquer.
That's right. We
Nothing
better
to be
stand
grateful
together.
for.
It's time. It's
That
time.
is
Listen.
ludicrous.
If you don't, it's annihilation. That's it.
If they're gonna keep going the same.
No, it's going to be total annihilation right now.
And anybody who says anything in favor of themselves, suddenly they're angry and they're this.
They
yeah.
call you anti-this and anti-that.
Yeah.
But they're not anti-facts or anti-truth.
Right. Why should blacks be paid for slavery?
Well, we're dealing with harm reduction right now in this country. All right, a lot of things have gone in different directions other than planned. So the remedy to this is to adjust food, clothing, shelter for the elders and respect for their ancestry. That needs to be passed on to the offspring because you're asking for certain fundamentals to be established just before martial law. We understand that, and we understand misbehavior. We've been punished for it throughout centuries. What we're suggesting is that we apply harm reduction when it comes to these things. That includes everyone, because the states will never be united unless we focus on where the problem lies. If you need the elders to support what you want, fundamentals for your offspring, then you need to support the elders also, and to respect the heritage that comes behind it. That way, the future will have some place to stay in their main, in their mind, and in their heart. That's what's most important, especially for a brother like myself. I'm a veteran, all right? I went through some hardships. The age is no excuse. I'm 69 now. I see what's going on. I get up off my rusty. No double retirement. I didn't put enough in for that. That's my stuff. The government says I did. I appreciate it. But we as a people, we have to continue working toward this peace that we're talking about. And it might be different for some people. Everyone deserves that. Food, clothing, shelter, peace of mind.
Thank you so much. Should all Black people be paid reparations for slavery, for the atrocities committed against our people, committed against our ancestors? Rape, robbery, murder, the destruction of nations, heritage, pedophilia, maiming, laming, tearing up generations, nations. And then after that, forcing disadvantage on our people. Some say, well, some of your own people sold you into slavery. Say whatever you want. It does not alleviate. It does not make America not guilty, or any other country who did these things to my people and to our people. They are still guilty of what they have done, and they must pay reparations. We're looking out here into the city, wherever you're from. Chime in and let us know what you feel. But they've got to pay reparations. And I tell you, as a woman of God and as God's prophet, they will pay reparations, or God himself will force them to pay reparations. He will take it out of their hide. He will take it out of the nations. He will take it out of the finances. He will take it out of everything. And I've said it before on other shows and in other venues, etc., other platforms. But I'm telling you, because we're discussing it with the people now. We're discussing it with you. And we're asking you to talk to us. You don't have to have your face on here. It doesn't matter what your face looks like, where you're from, what your economic status is, what your social status is. If you are a descendant of slaves, if you are a descendant of Africa and African slaves, whatever country you're from, whatever state you live in, if your ancestors were slaves, you deserve reparations. They've got to even the score. They've got to even things out. They've got to make things right. What have they done? They've stolen. They've murdered. They've raped. They've lamed. They've maimed. They've destroyed. They've committed pedophilia. They've harmed children. They've endangered children, endangered lives. They've killed over and over again. They've committed atrocities, genocide. And they've got to pay for it. They've got to pay reparations. They've got to make it right. They don't work for free. They don't ask anyone else to work for free. But they're telling my people that we have to work for free, that my ancestors had to work for free and just like suck it up. and get over it? No, you get over it. You get over it by giving up the money. You can't go and help all these other people get reparations and get things made right for them and not pay us. You owe us the money. So you've got to pay reparations to every Black nation, every Black person whose ancestors were slaves. And that's what this show is about. The first episode of this show is about. It's about reparations. And we want everybody from everywhere to chime in and talk about why reparations should be paid. And if you don't think they should be paid, you've got to give us a reason. But the facts are there. The facts are in our favor. And we must be paid because nobody works for free. You don't work for free. I don't work for free. They've got to pay. Many people became rich. This country became ultra rich off the backs of my people. And many countries have become ultra rich off the backs of my people. I represent all of my people because I am an African American and we are descendants of slaves. And again, as I've said before, some of us, you owe double the money because some of us are also Black Indians. Our ancestors were Black Indians. They were mixed with what you call First Peoples. And we are Black Indians and African Americans and all kinds of mixtures. But if we are descendants of slaves, you owe us our money. And some of us, you owe double. Now, you may owe me a casino and owe me reparations, but you've got to pay because you wouldn't ask anybody else to work for free. And any Blacks or African Americans or any other kinds of Blacks from any other country or any other races, groups, creeds, colors, religions who stand against us, then something is wrong with you. Because you wouldn't work for free, and if they'd done it to your people and have done it to your people, you would fight to get reparations. You would want pay. So you're supposed to stand with us, not act like we're not important. Because many of you out there, and I'm going to say this, have abused my people also and have participated in the mistreatment in the ghettos, in slumlording, and many other things out there that you think that I'm afraid to speak about. And I have this show because I have the power of God to stand and speak about very, very serious issues. We're always going to be talking about extremely serious issues because a lot of people are out there. They're claiming a whole lot of things, but they won't open their mouth and speak about what's right in the sight of God. And what's right in the sight of God is also right in the sight of man. I'm standing here in the dark because and letting you see God's nature and what's going on in the city. You know why? Because I'm here to represent you and to speak for you. And we're going to talk about issues for everyone that will help and cover everyone. But I'm going to talk about my people because charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. Okay? So, my people must be paid. By God, my people must be paid. Because if they're not paid, then God will take it out of America's hide and every country who is guilty. It's only right to pay us reparations. I stand with every organization that says reparations now. Let us know what you think. And stay with us because there's more coming.
Valerie live. Valerie live. Live to be live. Valerie live. Valerie live. Valerie live. Live to be live. With Valerie live in the studio, live in the street, live everywhere. Join us and let's meet. Live in the studio, Live life, live life, live life, live life.